Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the Ag Report. Last week, Andy Schwab and I attended the first BLM public meeting on their new Sage Grouse Management plans. Pat Diebert, National Sage Grouse Coordinator, told us that the species is experiencing a long-term population decline, so they decided to update management plans to incorporate new science and research.
I don't know that we're going to have radical changes with the preferred alternative. We're building on what we have learned. We're building on incorporating that science. We want to make sure, though, that we are implementing conservation on BLM lands informed by this new science. We have a little bit less than half of the habitat. We've got to be working with our partners to make this happen. But our overall goal with the Bureau of Land Management with this preferred alternative is to allow that multiple use, target the conservation of the bird.
I asked Pat why the BLM has decided to manage for one species across the entire landscape.
Sage grouse is our canary in the sagebrush, and it's telling us that this ecosystem is in trouble. It's telling us that there are issues out there that we need to address, and it's not just for sage grouse. It's for all the economies that rely on the sagebrush ecosystem. It's for the integrity of this larger area, I mean, not only ranching and oil and gas production and mining, but recreation.
Ellie Brighton, Montana Stock Growers Government Affairs Specialist, said they're still combing through the 600-page document, but their main goal is maintaining livestock grazing on public lands.
There's a lot of information to read through. I think first and foremost, we want to make sure that any of these decisions aren't going to hinder grazing, but as we dig through it, that's of course going to be our focus.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here shortly for the markets.
I represent a lot of what ranchers' wives are, where they marry into the family. Coming into established ranch, the expectations of that is just absolutely overwhelming. You know, there's always stress with all families, but when you're not dealing with the stress outwardly, it will definitely impact everyone inwardly. You may feel alone, but you're not alone.
Welcome back to the Ag News. North Dakota Senator John Hoeven and other Republicans on the Senate Ag Committee introduced the Farmer Act to strengthen crop insurance and make higher levels of coverage more affordable. The bill is seen as an alternative to Senate Ag Chair Debbie Stabenow's proposal to require farmers to choose between higher support levels of coverage and participation in ARC and PLC. Hoeven said the bill will help reduce the need for ad hoc disaster assistance that has dramatically increased since the 2018 Farm Bill was passed. Stabenow said she's glad Hoeven made the proposal and is ready to move ahead with more talks on a new farm bill. Well, cattle futures moving lower with concerns about inflation, consumer demand, and bird flu in dairy cattle. The May feeders are down $24 in the last 3 weeks. Cash-fed cattle $2 to $3 lower last week, with live deals averaging $184, dressed at $293. A great big feeder sale in Dickinson last week, with the market trending steady to higher. 5-weight steers $325 to $360, 6-weights $3 to $320, and the 5-weight heifers $278 up to $3. At the Newell shipyards, coal ewes were firm, mostly from 83 to 86, and the bred ewes from 210 to 240 a head. And the wheat market finished higher on Friday following a bearish USDA report that increased ending wheat stocks in the U.S. more than expected. They're now forecast to be up 22% from last year. Globally, though, wheat supplies are tightening, down almost 5% from a year ago. That's it for today's Ag Report. Have a great week.